The tune I have just played is called Giblet Gravy, recorded by George Benson way back in the 1960s. It's one of my favorite George Benson's tunes. And I recorded that demo when my guitar, my Gretsch Electromatic Jet Club, still didn't have a tremolo. And now it has. Because it's a Gretsch, and a Gretsch guitar needs a tremolo. And together with the tremolo at the very same time, I also installed lock-in tuners. Well, some people might say that lock-in tuners do improve tuning stability or intonation. To be honest, I don't know really. But what do they definitely do? They make string changes faster and more convenient, which is important for me because I gig with this guitar. Now the question comes, apart from this obvious functionality, do these things, tuners and tremolo, affect the overall guitar sound? Maybe you have heard an opinion that tuners, look here, these lock-in mechanisms are actually massive. They add more weight to the guitar, more resonant mass, and so does the tremolo. And resonant mass also means, subsequently, might mean increased sustain. Is it actually so, or is it an urban legend? Let's hear the demos and figure out. So let me know in the comments, did you hear the difference? Well, I actually did. To my ear, with this tremolo, this particular guitar, its sound has got more clarity and less mud. And that's because of the tremolo, really. I think this tremolo has a spring, and the spring introduces some play for every note or every chord that you hit, which naturally alters the way how the guitar resonates in overall, and that's where the tonal difference is coming from, most likely. Well, what about sustain? Honestly, I didn't notice any improvement at all. I did even measure it, so I strummed the same chord several times before the modification and after the modification, and then I compared the lengths of the waveforms in my digital audio workstation, and in average there was no difference really. And now, a usual tech talk. What if you would like to install a tremolo or lock-in tuners into your guitar? What do you need to observe? Well, tremolo, this one is called Göldo LT2, which is essentially the same construction as Duesenberg last trem, just styled differently. And it's a very convenient thing because it has been designed to fit into the existing mounting holes in the guitar, so I didn't have to drill any holes, just a screwdriver, 15 minutes and off you go. But what if you would like an actual Bigsby? Well, then there are different Bigsbys. There are Bigsbys with tangent bar, like B5 and B7. B5 is a smaller one, B7 is a bigger one, or without tangent bar, like B3, smaller, and B6, bigger, if I remember correctly, of course. So smaller or bigger definitely depends on the size of your guitar. And what about the tangent bar? It comes down to your bridge height. There are three, I would call them standards. Those are really not standards, that's just me calling them standards of bridge heights. Standard number one, it's a middle ground, like in a solid body where the bridge is mounted directly into the body. A typical tunematic bridge directly into the body. Then there are Telecasters, which have bridges that are even lower than that. And finally, there are hollow bodies. Hollow bodies have thin tops, and there is no way to mount a bridge directly into the body. That's why they have bridges situated on bridge bases. And bridge base makes it higher, which means that if you want a Bigsby for a hollow body, you will need one without tangent bar. If you are installing Bigsby into a solid body or into a Telecaster, you will need a Bigsby with tangent bar, because otherwise there will be not enough of break angle here and the strings will jump out of the saddles. Now, what about tuners? If you don't want to drill holes in your headstock, and there is nothing wrong with drilling, but it takes some effort, and you will need to make sure that after installation your new tuners are still aligned perfectly. So, to be on the safe side, I decided to find tuners that would be a direct drop-in replacement. And for that, you will need to observe first of all the way how the tuners are mounted on the other side of the headstock. And then the next parameter would be shaft diameter, so that the tuners fit into these existing through holes. And finally, the most important thing is the shaft length. Because if the shaft is too long or too short, there will be no way to fix that with any kind of drilling. So, before ordering your new tuners, consider removing one of the strings, taking off its corresponding tuner and measuring it properly with a caliper. Other than that, that was it for today. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!